Put a finger down if in the last 24 hours you've stumbled across or looked up a best fails video. In my defense, it was for research purposes for this video specifically, but you get the point. Still, I'd bet that at least 50% of you guys just mentally put down a finger. And today, I want to talk about why. Are fails videos simply entertaining and funny like dramas, horror movies, or any other kind of media? Or could there be a deeper message, a reason why we feel the need or like to watch these kinds of videos so much? Is there a reason that we crave watching others fail, even if it's just a funny YouTube compilation? For example, we have try not to laugh challenges, and then it's a girl failing to do gymnastics right, a boy falling from his scooter, or someone failing and not landing correctly while attempting to do a backflip. These are the kinds of videos that we see in these kinds of compilations. We have influencer scandals, influencers basically failing, something bad happening in the private life of a celebrity. Mostly it's bad stuff, there can be good stuff in there, but mostly it's celebrities failing at something. Taylor Swift having another breakup. That video of that one girl on TikTok singing "Hit Me Baby One More Time" while having a car crash.
Hit me baby one more time!
Whenever someone fails at something, be it something as simple as an accident while doing a hobby such as inline skating or skateboarding, or something as big as a breakup or someone having a mental crisis, the world is watching, and the world is evidently enjoying themselves, else they wouldn't be watching. Of course, there are other reasons why we would like to watch negative videos that generally make us feel bad, but let's get into the reason why we like to watch others fail in this video. The simple answer would be Schadenfreude, which is a German word that stands for finding joy in someone else's suffering. This is the simplest answer, and it is true, we do have that feeling. But today I want to dig a little bit deeper. Why do we feel this way, and could there be other reasons why we enjoy watching others fail? Let's start with a bit of history. In ancient Rome, we had gladiator fights, which you all probably have heard of. Something so brutal and gruesome, some of us don't even like to think about that anymore. How were people back then able to watch this kind of stuff and enjoy themselves? Why would you like to watch someone get killed and like it? Were people back then just crazy? Yes, times were different back then, and people had lots of other thoughts. They were probably very much desensitized to that kind of suffering. But if we look at current media, we might not be as different from them as we might think. It's not exactly comparable to, like actual people getting killed in gladiator fights, or watching a witch get burned, or a witch, well, it's not really a witch, but watching anyone get burned alive is obviously different than watching a horror movie or anything that's fake and staged in the media. But there are some exceptions to this, and I believe that the reasons why we enjoy these kinds of media is pretty similar. In general, the fascination with failure is kind of timeless. The only thing that changes is the medium and the kind of things we actually see. So the question still stands, are we even any better than the Romans? Of course, like I said, we don't actually fight to the death, we don't watch someone actually die, but we still like the thrill of seeing things like that play out, knowing that it's fiction and it won't actually hurt someone. Obviously that is a crucial difference, but like I said, why do we like to watch that kind of stuff? We still watch horror movies, brutal ones at that, or psychologically challenging ones, action movies where people get hurt, dramas in which people die or something bad happens to them. We love drama in general, with influencers, combinations of people failing, like I said in the beginning, and of course, it can simply be funny and entertaining, but there are some other psychologically deeper theories that might be able to explain this. Like I said, Schadenfreude, the German word meaning enjoying someone else's misfortune, is of course one of them. Although I did say that we'd go deeper than that, I still think that it's an important concept to recognize in this context. Why do we feel Schadenfreude? You probably know this kind of feeling, mostly when someone you dislike or someone you think is above you fails. For example, the girl with the perfect grades gets an F suddenly. Oh my god, it's a shocker. Some people might feel bad for her. They might wonder if something bad happened in her personal life, or maybe she just slipped up this one time. But some others might be at least a little bit glad. or both. The reason for that is actually pretty simple. We just feel better about ourselves after watching the squirrel fail. It makes our own failures seem less dramatic and more human, more natural. Failure makes untouchable, seemingly perfect people suddenly human and relatable. And that in turn leaves us with the feeling that maybe if this perfectly untouchable person suddenly fails too, maybe being human isn't so bad after all. Maybe it even is natural, if even the people above us are it. Another theory is something that I already talked about in another video, specifically in detail. The reason we, for example, enjoy psychological horror is probably because of Catharsis, a theory by Aristotle. It basically says that through watching tragedies, we can release feelings of sadness, grief, pity, fear, or guilt in the safety of a cinema or theater, and that state is called catharsis and is what we strive for. There's something a little bit different about watching combinations of people fail though. The simple act of laughing about things that could actually potentially happen to us can actually really help with that fear already. Here's another thought. A question for you. Have you ever watched a video of Trump saying weird shit, like a combination of him tripping on his words or physically, or getting caught lying, or just generally something negative happening to him? Or maybe the same thing for Biden, Kamala, or other presidents that you might not like? If the answer is yes, I might have an explanation for that phenomenon specifically. For example, if you're anti-Trump, which I hope you are, because if you're not, then this might not be the account for you. You probably enjoy watching him fail at things, because it kind of proves you being right about him, essentially, and strengthens your sense of identity as an anti-Trump person. Essentially, it makes you feel good about yourself because it proves your point. And if this happens to a lot of other individuals, or maybe it's just you, it can really strengthen and lead to that feeling of being stronger as a group against him. So essentially, you see him fail and you think, oh yeah, I was right, and all of these other people who think he is in the wrong are a group, and we strengthen ourselves and we are stronger than him. Essentially, their loss, or his loss, is our win. In my opinion, by the way, that's not even a bad thing. This sense of belonging in a group that's stronger, or even just belonging itself, could also be the root of the general question, by the way. We simply like others being human and failing because we're human, and we like to belong to humankind. It makes us feel like we belong and that there isn't something actually wrong with us, because obviously everyone fails, but not everyone likes to show it. It doesn't always have to be about understanding that failing is normal. It can be, but it can also just simply be about being part of something, and that something is humanity. But let's get into another question. Why is this so much bigger on social media than it is in real life? Because I don't think you go outside looking for anyone to fail, but you can look up failing combinations on YouTube. We already explained why people watch it, but the reason they just get shown things like that is actually pretty simple. It's the usual, the algorithm. Failure causes instant reactions like irritation or sympathy, while success stories kind of more make us feel bad about ourselves because we might be jealous or feel like we're behind in life. But once again, it can also be the complete opposite. Success can make you feel really great about yourself, and failure can make you feel terrible. But I think there's still a tendency towards watching more people failing because of the reasons that we talked about. And when you think about it, all of this sounds kind of positive, right? You feel more human, connected to others, you feel better about yourself in general, you release negative emotions. But I think there is a darker side to this. Because while simply consuming content about people failing, in a non-graphic way of course, can be really helpful, being actually a part of these videos might not be as great. In fact, it can be incredibly hurtful. This might be a little far-fetched, but I think it's still related to this topic, and I wanted to talk about it. In today's society, it's become increasingly more normalized to film strangers in private situations and post it online. Like, for example, failing at something, or having a private and personal conversation that could be negative. Pranks on the internet, and I mean the ones that aren't staged, can be a part of this. But of course, generally just filming strangers failing is the most common one. Imagine you're just going about your day and, I don't know, spilling your drink, and suddenly it's all over the internet. That clip of you spilling your drink, and that one guy trying not to spill water by laughing about you is reacting to it. Yeah, my personal hell. So what I wanted to achieve with this video is to make you understand yourself a little bit better, maybe, because watching other people fail isn't as negative and bad as you might feel like you are being. It essentially just makes you feel better about yourself. But posting someone online failing without their consent, of course, can be really harmful, and we should definitely keep that down. By the way, I just realized that I forgot to answer the most important question of the video. Are we better than the Romans? And the answer to that actually isn't as simple, because obviously back then people were actually hurt, people were killed, and that's what makes this so morally wrong, obviously. And nowadays it's all just fiction, or at least if it's legal, it's just fiction. Any other cases would be illegal in most countries. So obviously, yes, we are better than the Romans because we don't actually kill people, if it wasn't obvious. Now that was it for the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. By the way, I don't know if I already mentioned this, but we just hit 500 subscribers. I also made a TikTok account, so if you want to follow that, link is in the description. I also have, hold on, a book. It's called Hurt People, and I already talked about this a little bit, but I submitted it for a short story contest, or, well, it's the story contest, the Young Storyteller Award, and it's about a girl being in denial about having killed her brother, and throughout therapy sessions, she figures out that was actually her, and yeah, it's about difficult family dynamics, grief, and lots of different stuff that's really interesting. So it's a mystery thriller, so if you want to read that, it's a little expensive, 18 euros, but I still am very proud. So yeah, link is in the description too. Also, if you want to hire me on Fiverr for whatever reason to edit your video, go do that. Link is also in the description. Thank you again for 500 subscribers, and yeah, that was it for the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you like the channel, and watch another video. Bye!